afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am. I'm back. It's been a while since I've been on, but Mr. Scribe is back. And this month in June, it's Men's Month. So I'll be your host for this month. Angee from the B is getting some rest and behind the scenes. So welcome to the Real Level Up. We got a really interesting show for you today with a young man that's doing some things, and let's bring him on. AJ.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing fine, AJ. How are you? How do you pronounce your last name?
Consonery.
Consonery. Sounds
Yes,
like
sir.
a nice word to know, like in the spelling bee, spell Consonery. And then, he's got to spell the word. So how are you today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, before we get started, we always know this is a faith-based program that we have, and I just want to go to God, not quickly, but go to him first so we can bless this particular platform. Dear Father, we just like to thank you today for our guests, and just thank you for the day and the ability to converse and, dear Lord, learn our stories, our background, dear Lord, and just show the people how you can intertwine with the relationships that we continue to build with you. Bless this show, the ones behind the scenes as well. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, AJ, look, I'm going to let you get things kicked off. I'm going to kind of fade to the background because it's all about you. That's why we wanted to have you on, so people can get to know who you are. So just, tell us a little bit, the tease. You understand that particular type of thing. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and we're going to get ready to chop up your interests, but just give a little background on yourself.
Absolutely. Well, for everybody, I am Adrian Consonery Jr. I am a lot of things, to say the least. I'm very grateful that God has given me the ability to, go forward and pursue a lot of different passions. I'm an author, poet. I'm also founder of a nonprofit called Lifeline Initiative Incorporated. I'm an aspiring chef, several different things of what I love to do. But my biggest passion is genuinely just helping out people, getting to see them in everything of their light, meeting them where they are, and truly going into communities and helping to advance them in the best way possible.
Wow. That's a mouthful, bro. So I'm interested. We're going to be getting into a little bit of everything of what you do, but the parts that I'm interested in,
Yes.
The audience as well, I'm not going to be selfish, but the chef part and the poetry part, because I'm a poet as well, and just getting a little bit back. We've got folks already chiming in. Bertrand McKinney, Birdie's on. Thank you for coming in, brother. We appreciate you having you on. And I know your people are going to be chiming in. I'll try to keep up with the shout outs. Other than that, let's see. You got a lot of different businesses. We're not at our first break yet, but I do have a scripture. We have it at the beginning before our first break. I kind of just let the Lord guide me and direct me depending on the topic of the show. And this is the verse that, not me, that he selected for this particular time. I'm going to Ephesians, the 4th chapter and the 29th verse. And it reads, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that may benefit those who listen." So that kind of spoke to some of the things you was talking about as far as meeting people where they are and allowing your words through your written word to not just what you're speaking, but your written word as an author to touch and benefit people. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to jump right in also and just say, where did your love from poetry come from?
It actually goes back a ways. So when I was younger, I used to love to listen to my dad's old rap mixtapes and stuff like that. Like he used to have a bunch from back in the day. We weren't really supposed to be listening to them, me and my sister, but we found a way into them.
We always do.
But I used to love just going through and hearing how the different word plays would come through and the imagery that would come from them. Now, me, myself, I'm not a rapper, but I love the way that words go to express. And so when I learned that, I was struggled with coloring in between the lines, I knew that I could make the lines myself with my words. And time started going on, I wrote a poem. The first time I ever performed a poem was at my grandfather's funeral. And that was the first time I had ever done it as an expression of grief or just an expression of a culmination of feelings that I did. I lost that poem because I said that was his and I gave it to him and we buried it with him. But then from that point, I just started writing. I just started writing and writing and writing. And it continued on and on as more of a way of me to get relief and expression rather than just, I want to see what this could do for me. So really just helping out with my own mental and helping out with myself of getting into a realm where the feelings that I have aren't bottled up anymore.
And you was able to express those feelings through writing those. And it's funny how that flows. It could be a couple of different things, and then it's a lull, and then it could just explode where you're just constantly, and when you look at it, you got so much stuff. That's how similar happened to me. But for me, for you, it's at a younger age. For me, it was at an older age. I didn't start writing until I was 51.
Really?
Never thought about it. So that shows you the different dichotomy of, hey, it could happen when you're very young. It could happen later in life. And it was just a well spring forth that just burst forth. But I see that we are very similar, that we used it to help us get through some situations. And I know there's some people out there listening who may be writers. And because I think poetry is an acquired taste. Everybody doesn't read poetry. Everybody doesn't go out and buy poetry books. But my philosophy on that is, if you want to know what's going on in a certain space and time in history, read the poetry.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Every time.
Every time. You read the poetry, you will find out what was going on. And it's diverse. It could be African-American poets. It could be other groups from around the world. If you want to know what's going on in their history, pull their poets out, read them. Wow, this is what was happening, to get a real feel, because we know words have power.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the crazy thing about that term of words having power, it's just the ability of creation. To bring this back to a spiritual sense, God put himself into each of us, and we all have an aspect of him. But like in Psalms 33:3, where it talks, or 33:6, where it talks about the breath of God creating stars, that's what we have the ability to do. Literally breathing the same capacity and energy output that a star can give, we have that ability. So when you look at what you use your words for, breathe life into situations, speak positivity over others' lives, because you never know how it could truly make something for them in that moment. We speak the reality that we want to live in.
I agree with you 100%. We're getting ready to go to our first break. And when we come back from our break, AJ, I want to talk about, you just got on the positive side of words. I want you to speak to how you combat those negative words that we see has created a lot of destruction, not only in our communities, but in this world. We're going to break. This is the Real Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. We'll be right back.
When you look too deep, face your truth, you could be set free.
Justice should be for everyone. Administer Justice is a faith-based organization that has joined with Lakewood Church of Hope to bring legal assistance and, in addition, many other resources to service the community. As believers, serving is a part of who we are in Jesus Christ. For more information, register at www.administerjustice.org.
Hi, my name is Kelly Bryant, and I am the face of a type 2 diabetic. I am also the author of a book series called Numbers that is available on Amazon. Numbers is about how I used a low-carb diet lifestyle to get my numbers into non-diabetic range. I am living proof that it is possible to go from a 16.6 A1C to a 5.2. So let's kick type 2 diabetes one number at a time.
I'm going to give you guys some tough love today. If you have a goal of wanting to lose weight, build muscle, build a booty, whatever it is, and you're not going to the gym or eating enough protein or moving your body enough, progress. But you got to stay consistent with it. You can't just show up once in a while. If you want to lose weight, if you want to see that transformation by summertime and fit in the dress and fit in your jeans and feel hot and sexy, do the work.
Hi, I'm Pat Nash, and I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit, and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.
Hey, this is Kimberly Howell with Angel Rings Music Presents. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher, ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
This is Kimberly Walker. Listen and watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
Hey, this is Tracy Price Coins, author of The Faith to Forgive and Spiritual Identity Depth. Keep it locked right here. Y'all level up every Sunday from 3 to 5.
And welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed those independent artists that we featured on our break. Right before we went to break, AJ, I just wanted to have you speak on you saying that the poetry came from you listening to rap records and things. We've seen how that has moved. Like, I'm talking about secular rap has moved into a certain location. We know that there's Christian rap. How did that influence you? I know you say you listen to the music that your dad listened to and you got excited about how the words were, the bars and the words, and how did that evolve from that to the type of poetry that you write and the style and your voice? Because each poet has to search for their voice. So when you read a piece, okay, I can tell that's AJ, just from the way it's written. Can you speak to that?
Yes. So my father, he used to have a lot of Public Enemy tapes, NWA, and a lot of groups from the 90s that had a lot of different things that they were expressing during that time. And especially with Public Enemy, and that's actually where I'm going to, take the majority of the influence. Their whole premise was bringing knowledge and information to a masses that wasn't able to receive it. They may not have been able to understand what was going on in that time. They may not have been able to understand how things were really running and moving, but because of what was going on, they were able to eloquently put it in a way that you could party to, but you still know, oh, I'm here. This is something I need to pay attention to. Well, unfortunately, because that knowledge and that pathway of information being shared, because this ties back all the way into when like how we would just give messages to one another from slavery time. That ties all the way back there.
Right.
So looking now, people are giving information in ways that has been infiltrated. The pathways, the communication ways, the different modes of communication has been completely infiltrated by different people who want different messages to come out. Different high-end people with different money, different agendas. So the information that's being transitioned and given to one another is not conducive to building up communities. Now, for myself, being able to differentiate between the two, I don't necessarily, I not even necessarily, I know my life. I don't resonate with a lot of the things that happen in, today's songs. I'm not always at the club popping bottles. I'm not always, outside doing this, that, and the third. Not always. Now I do know how to have a fun time, but I'm not, that's not the life that I live. So what do I communicate? I love this. What is the message that I want to give out? Well, I can only give out what I know. I can only give out what I see, the problems that are there, the things that arise. How can I let people know what to be wary of? And that's how I really got into writing. And it wasn't always about, I'll say this. When I write, I don't have one particular topic that I talk about. I talk about everything. But if it all has to pertain to my life. So I'll talk about politics. I'll talk about love. I'll talk about love loss. I'll talk about grief. I even have a poem that talks about being broke. It's just, but
that's experiences.
That's experiences. So whatever I experience, that's what drives my pen. It's not me wanting to fabricate a reality that I don't have. It's me translating the life that I live.
And see, that's an important point what you just said. You just say your pen is not fabricating anything. It's just an expression of you. We see we can compare it because a lot of rap is poetry put to music. And like you said, all these different variables, we don't have time to go into all of that change the narrative in reference to the message. Now, we being believers, we know we're going to be influenced by who we serve. So we know that poetry for each of us is a gift. So when you begin to write, a lot of times, I'm just going to ask you, you've experienced at least once or maybe more than once, when you're writing a piece, you can feel that somebody else is writing it and it's not you. As you're writing it, and when you go back and read it, you know you wrote it, but you know that the impetus came from God or the Holy Spirit. And we're talking because we're believers. I don't know if every poet feels that. I know I have, and I'm having a conversation with you today. So that's where we connect. Because I know I've written things where, man, I'm writing these words and I'm looking at it as I'm writing and not even understanding how am I writing this. So that's the thing. There's things that we need to, you as a writer is saying, look, there's a message that needs to get put out there because we know the world wants to drown it out. They want their agenda pushed, even in poetry. There's all different kinds. There's dark poetry out there as well. But we feel that, hey, I've been given a gift and I'm going to use my gift to serve. Now, I saw that you're an author, mentor, and poet. What led you to your mentorship? Was it just, hey, I need to get back? Did your poetry move you into that direction? How did that evolve from that to, you know what, I want to mentor? And how did that be birthed? And how did you get into that?
Honestly, the mentor aspect of everything, it kind of just happened. It was almost as if it was a part of a natural evolution, like a natural growth. The more I believe that the more that you experience life and the more wisdom that you gain that to share it. And so God will naturally put people into your life that you tell them, hey, this is what's going on. I'm very fortunate with the life that I've lived. I will forever thank God for the experiences that I've had and everything that I've been able to witness and see and do. But I know that I'm only given these experiences to have stories to tell later on that have a message to them. So when I got into, really mentoring and everything, it wasn't like me looking out for people or looking for people like, oh, you look lost and distressed, let me help you out. No, it just became a thing of God would bring them to me. And it could be, a mentor. Sometimes people look at mentorship as like, oh, it's just one person leading another, which in an essence, it absolutely is. But sometimes I mentor and I get mentored in the same aspect. I learn while helping others learn. So it's never about like, oh, it's just me and what I get or what I give. It's also about I can see how I can learn from them.
And your different experiences with your poetry and the other things that kind of gets brought into the mentorship. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like you said, it was a natural, organic kind of thing that took place. And it's like, okay, I've been given these particular gifts. Now the mentoring part comes, oh, I can use these and incorporate it with that. So as people interact with me, give me their stories, you're being directed, hey, AJ, this particular aspect of your experience, bring that. Your particular aspect of this experience, bring that. So you kind of were, even though you didn't know it, you was kind of grew for all the different experiences you had to come to. It's just amazing how he works and the things he does, especially when you look back. Because a lot of times when you're going through it, you don't realize, you just know that, hey, I'm living my life. I'm doing the things that I think I need to be doing to honor him. And then next thing you know, when things happen, oh, that's why that happened. And you kind of take a step back and stop. Stop just to think about it. And it's growing and it's a beautiful thing because it's an uphill battle, brother. We know who's guiding and directing us, but you just look around, because you say your poetry goes from love lost to grief to politics to certain people just focus on certain things, but you seem well-rounded enough to say, hey, whatever's affecting my life, I can write about it. Something's going to come to me for me to speak to this particular thing, to be able to share it with certain people that's going to gravitate to that.
It's actually crazy that you say it in that manner, because that's the whole reason why I wrote my second book. So the first book I did, I was just doing that for fun. I wanted to try something out. I was even on the phone with one of my friends. I was like, hey, I'm about to do something crazy. Watch this. And I wrote that. The second book was very different. The second one, I had experienced some really traumatizing stuff at my school. It was back in 2021. It was a really bad time. And it was the first time I had ever witnessed someone pass away, like in front of my eyes. It was the first time I ever witnessed that. And so I came back home, and this is nothing against my institution. This is nothing against anything of that nature, but I knew I had to go home because I needed to be with my family. I needed to be around my loved ones. I needed to be in a place that made sense. Or I wouldn't even say made sense, a place that wasn't foreign to me. And when I got home, my mother, I will say this, my mother is a counselor and my father is a mechanic. So the household from the moment I was born, it's been designed to fix and help people. So my mom, she was helping me out, getting me to see different professionals. But she told me, son, I know that the biggest thing for you is to write, to express yourself. So I want you to write what made this happen for you. Like what was that day? I need you to express it and get it out, or else you're going to continue to live through this cycle. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll give it a shot, acting like that's not something that I did already. But I'm like, I guess I'll listen. Mom, you might be right. And I wrote a poem that might be, it's the realest poem I've ever written. But from that, I was like, okay, now where do I go from here?
Correct.
And then I wrote another one. And then I wrote another one. And then it just kept, and it was literally as if like the floodbanks had opened. And all of this poetry, all of this writing just started flowing out. And I couldn't stop it. In fact, there were days where I'm like, I have to write. If I don't, like if I don't do it, I'm gonna explode.
I'm feeling you, because that's a similar experience. I'm at work, sitting at my desk, and I get a break, and on my computer, the screen goes blank, but you don't use it for a minute. I'm literally writing on a piece of paper, because that's how much it poured out. So I can definitely relate. There may be people in the audience that also, I see Birdie made and we got a couple of posts on. Birdie said his rap, he does Christian rap. He said he got started in rap because of a poetry contest he won. And Birdie, you got to check out some of his music is on point. And then my friend Kerry Percy, we connected. Hey! We go to the same church. Then we began to talk. She's a poet, and we exchanged books and love her so much because the fact that and creatives, we just connect, whether you're music, other things. Creative people have this vibe with them, especially when they're on that faith journey. They connect, collaborate, do all these different things. And that's the beauty of what you said. And out of all the stuff you've written, there's that one piece that I could tell you, probably with all your pieces, AJ, you could, when I wrote this is where my headspace was at. This is where I physically was at. Most poets can tell you, just like any event, people that write or creative, when that music came, I woke up at 2 a.m. and I just had it. You just know where it comes from and how it moves you. My question to you now is, as we're discussing those different things, it seems that it's always coming back, your mentorships, coming back to the poetry, coming back to all of that. When did you know when you found your poetic voice? When did you, with all your writing, when did you know, hey, when somebody reads this piece, they're going to know that AJ wrote it? Because of the voice the voice that's coming out of the piece.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure. That I've never answered that question, but I've never even thought about that.
Never thought about it?
Because like I said, like it just, I've always wanted to express myself. I've always been talking. If I think the term now is certified yapper. That's been that's been my thing. So honestly, like I feel, and first and foremost, shout out to all of my friends and my family that have tuned in. But I see someone who commented who probably knows a little bit more about when. But my sister, she has been there from the jump. She's seen everything. She heard my first words. She's my older sister. So she heard my first words. She's heard me talk her ear off of several different occasions. So I don't know exactly for myself when my voice was found or when my stamp was put on any of my, on any of my work where it made sense. Like if you heard it, you're like, nah, that's an AJ piece. But if I had to say if anybody would know where my voice came from, she would. She would absolutely know.
And a lot of times, AJ, it doesn't necessarily have to come from you. Other people will know, like you said, your sister, you know, even though you're connected with her, she can be reading. Oh, that's AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I know because I can just read through the first couple of stanzas and I know that's AJ. So a lot of times, that's the other part of it is sometimes it comes from within you, but sometimes it comes from the outside as well. And just move right along because I know I'm just trying to get to everything because you're a Renaissance man. You got all these different things. Now, my next thing is we got some guests that are loving the conversation. Where did the chef piece, out of all the stuff that you're doing, I'm thinking, well, the brother probably get hungry. So he says, well, you know, let me throw some bacon and grits on and some, but you talking chef. So you talking a lot more fancier dishes than just throwing something together just to get a little snack. So how did that filter into everything that you're doing?
Oh, Mr. Scribe. So it actually, so my love for cooking came from me watching my father.
Your
my
father?
dad.
Okay.
Yes,
that's unusual. That's usually it's the moms in the kitchen burning the pots, and my son watched his mother cook, and that's how he learned by watching his mom. I wasn't in the kitchen. I was in there, but not as much as him. So you watching your dad kind of got you into it.
So and here's the thing, like I love my mom. I love when she gets into the kitchen. I know exactly. Like we were joking about this the other day. Somebody said that Black kids have probably had more spaghetti than Italians, and I'm be honest, that might be true. It might be. I'm not here to say otherwise. It could be, but but seeing my dad, because he would get into the kitchen, he would make something for himself. But then at the same time, whenever he would make something for other people, you could tell he put more effort, he put more love, he put more of himself into the food. And yes, the cakes. My dad has made every single birthday cake I have ever had.
And Carrie is commented, you got to have one of his damn cakes. And Tom B said, and the food is amazing. So
yes. So, Dom has actually tried. She is one of my sisters, in my sister organization. She has had like almost every type of meal that I've made. But that's where the love of it came from, was watching my father, seeing how he would go from, all right, I'm just making something for myself, you know, making something to keep maintenance from myself up, to no, this is an art form. I'm about to show my love. And when I got into cooking myself, it started in high school. And this actually goes back to the mentorship program, or not program, but the mentorship aspect. I had a chef teacher. We had culinary arts in my high school.
We didn't have that when I was going on.
Man, let me tell you something. I was very fortunate at the high school that I went to. We had a commercial kitchen. So the first instructor that we had, she just knew the recipes. She could read a recipe. She could, she knew how to go into the book and teach you everything. Basically, she could teach you the basics.
Right.
But then we got a new instructor who had retired from his own kitchen, like his own restaurant. He retired from working in Florida, came up to Georgia to teach, because he was like, I genuinely just want to pass the craft.
Right. Exactly.
And it was a difference in instruction, because now I went from just someone teaching out of a textbook to someone giving me their life experience, to someone giving me everything of what they've done. And he was the first one to tell me, like, if you've got a recipe, yeah, you can follow it, but that's somebody else's name. He's the one that said, if you want it to be you, put yourself into it. Show what that looks like. And that led into me cooking and making my own things and going forward and doing so forth with all of the things. we could get into more of the dishes I've made later. What Dom is talking about.
No, we're gonna get
yeah.
into that because we got to get ready to go to the next break. And when we come back from our break, AJ, I want you to talk about some of the dishes that you create because you're starting to get me hungry, brother. And then on the other side of the break, when is AJ's opening up downtown Atlanta?
Oh, we could definitely talk about that. We could definitely talk about that.
There's a possibility of an 8th. Okay, if that's the case, I want to be there for the grand opening, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to get to that after the. This is just interesting for me because it sees how different things feed into life experiences, and that's what makes life interesting when you're not just kind of sitting back, you're kind of going out and grabbing things, and that's what makes things exciting when you wake up. If you're blessed to wake up in the morning, hey man, I got a passion because I know I've got things that I need to do, as opposed to just going to a job and getting into that rut, because a lot of us get stuck there. We're going to go to break. We're going to talk about AJ's maybe restaurant, but at least some of his dishes when we come back from break. This is the Real Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. We'll be right back.
To them who are in Christ Jesus, the Spirit of life in Him has made me free again, and by His blood I've been set free, and by His grace He's redeemed me. And by His love I've been rescued. I will never be defeated. No, there is no condemnation to them who are in Christ Jesus. Christ Jesus. Spirit of life in Him made me free. And by His blood I've been rescued, and by His grace He's redeemed me, and by His love I've been rescued. I will never be defeated. No, I will never be defeated. No, and your love rescued me by your blood.
They said it was wrong to promote me, that I wasn't ready, that I would fail.
Those who have betrayed me must pay.
You're the first black agent. Don't be the last.
Revenge is all I have left.
The CIA cannot get involved, so you're on your own.
Aren't we all?
I'm a man who gets what he wants.
Just get me the money. You have 24 hours.
Hello, business owners. This is your fit photographer, Andre Gerard, coming at you with my 2025 campaign. The goal is to promote and empower her enterprise. Yes, the goal is to elevate women of color in business. On March the 1st, we are set to launch this new campaign, and it doesn't matter what your business is. Please contact us at www.andregerardphotography.com to book your consultation. Let's make this an amazing year. Follow me on all social media at Andre Gerard, your fit photographer.
And let's have a moment of clarity. There's freedom in your transparency. When you speak, you release, that's therapy. It's my decision to listen and do it carefully. Wanna live carefree? Well, it's gonna start. When secrets are kept, families are torn apart. I wanna do my part to help heal your heart. Shed some light on your life when your days are dark. Help ignite a spark that'll bring change. Be your shelter from the rain, assist with.
Soy Udanis y te invito a escuchar cada domingo de 3 a 6 de la tarde Level Up, sube el nivel, gente corriente con historias extraordinarias. No te lo pierdas.
Hi, this is Terry Cummings, 18-year veteran of the NBA. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey y'all, this is Candace Stevens, state of Georgia real estate broker and founder of Day After Foundation Incorporated, where we are transforming the transplant experience. You are vibing with my people, Angee from the B and Mr. Scribe. So level up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
And welcome back, everyone. We're on with AJ. This brother's got a lot of stuff to chop up, so we're going to get right to it. I see we have a comment from, I think it's Ariel.
Yes, Ariel, yes.
Ariel, okay, Ariel. And you said your older sister, Don B. They said AJ is like our dad, a man of many talents.
Yes, so Ariel is my biological sister. And Dom is my organization sister, absolutely.
Okay.
But
she said the food is amazing.
Yes,
so she finds some of them dishes. So she's like, okay, and you making me sit here. I know we got to go through the show and stuff. You get me hungry, man. Get me hungry. So now, what I wanted to go right before we went to break, you kind of shared what you was doing regarding your getting into watching your dad, which motivated you. You say you took the one class, but the one class is just like, okay, half a cup of salt, 2 cups of sugar, and you wasn't really feeling that. But when the other instructor came in and said, man, here's my life experience, cooking by feel, like grandma. Like grandma used to get in there. She didn't have a cookbook, but when you sat down to eat, man, you know what I'm talking about. So,
oh yeah,
share with us some of the dishes that you was able to create, and obviously it's been good because we get positive comments from you. Nobody got sick and had to go to the hospital, so that's good.
Yeah. Thank God. So I'll say I have these 2 that I'll definitely talk about.
Okay.
I've made a plethora of dishes, but my favorite 2. The first one was an anniversary gift to my parents. So when they were celebrating 27 years, they're about to celebrate 30 years this year, but when they were celebrating 27 years, they were in Grambling, Louisiana for their anniversary, which is where I was at school. So I invited them over to the apartment and I turned it into to a restaurant for them. I didn't want them having to go and spend anything. And so what I was able to make for them, because my father, he has a very strict diet. Like he has a very strict diet. He follows certain protocols and everything like that. And my mother, she goes right along with it. Now she will partake in whatever is there, but because she is bonded with my father, I wanted to do something that they both could thoroughly enjoy and was still within the parameters. So I had made a braided salmon with shrimp, and I done got my mama to talk. It was braided salmon with honey garlic shrimp. But what I did was I made sure that the entirety of their meal had 27 different flavors or 27 different, unique spices that will go and add in for every year of flavor they had with each other. So
beautiful.
It was like, and this is the first time. Now, he might not say it, he might not comment it, but this is the first time I got my dad off of the first bite to get up and just come through and hug me. He was like, "Boy, you did it." He said, "Boy, you did it."
But see, that says it all. When you get that kind of validation, AJ, man, I know I'm on something. Pops got up from the table, came over to you, dapped you up, and said, "Son, you hit on it." So you knew after that it was all good.
I knew I did what I had to do for them that day because I wanted them to feel the love that they created. I wanted them to understand what came from their union. And my dad, and this is another thing that really made me feel very great about myself. My dad, when he got up, he was like, "How much do we owe? Like, how much do we had a restaurant we got to pay? How much do we owe?" I said, "Y'all paid the bill 27 years ago. You ain't even like, there's no,
that's not necessary."
Literally.
And that's what you said when you watched your father make cakes and things like that, the love, because I believe that that's an important part of, people don't understand, we have a physical reality, but there's a spiritual side to me, to everything in life. And when you pour that into it, it's tangible. People can taste it, may not be able to see it, but you can feel it.
Right. And so, that actually leads into the second one. So the second thing that I did actually was how I started to pay my rent. And this is how I started to look towards a restaurant. Okay. So I learned how to make pizza. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, my last name is Italian. I do have Italian blood within me, and it's on my father's side. But because of that, I've always gravitated towards Italian cuisine. Well, one day, I had a girlfriend at the time, and we wanted to try to be a little romantic, and we were like, "Oh, let's go and make pizzas together to do something cute." So we went to the store, and we started, trying to shop around for everything. And she grabbed the pre-made dough and put it into the basket. I said, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And she was like, "I'm getting the dough so we can make pizza." I said, "No, I know how to make that. Why are you? No, we don't know how long that's been there. I don't know the hands that did anything to that. We're not doing that. No, put that back. We're not gonna do that." And she was like, "You know how to make dough?" I said, "Yes." She was like, "Oh, we're gonna see how this goes." She started doubting. And so we get there, and of course the dough takes time. She's angry at me the whole time that the dough is going, because she thinking this is gonna be a quick little cute thing. I'm waiting for the dough to rise. I let it go down, and I let it rise again. And we made pizzas that day. And she took one bite and she said it was completely worth the wait. I've never in my life thought that I was going to have a homemade pizza. And then when I tried it myself, I was like, "Oh, it's actually, really good. It's the basis of a pretty good pizza." I called my best friend to come over and try the pizza that we made. But the problem was,
You got folks putting orders in as we speak. You got the oven hot? You got the oven warmed up, AJ?
No, that oven not on right now.
You might have to go to the store, brother.
Well, the thing is, after I called my best friend over to try this stuff out, but he said, what type of pepperoni did you use? And I had used regular pepperoni. He is Muslim, so he does not eat pork.
Right.
And in my head, I'm like, this is my best friend. Like he supports me in almost everything that I do. He might even be watching this right now. I don't know. I know he was doing some stuff with his fiance, but he supports everything I do. And now I've done something that would probably exclude him, but I know he would want to support me.
Right.
So it was at that moment that I said, well, I'm just not going to cook with pork anymore. There's different things that I could do to trade up for it. They got turkey pepperoni. It tastes better anyway. They got turkey sausage, turkey bacon. If I want to make that and put that on there, I've got the option. I'm just going to do that. I'm not even going to use pork anymore. And from that point to now, I have not cooked with pork. I do not do it.
And you said that helped subsidize you making money to take care of your finances.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. So when I started making the pizza, and then I use a different sauce. I make my own sauce from scratch. Like I don't like to use the store-bought anything unless it's the ingredients to make what I need.
Okay.
I would make my own Italian butter sauce. I make my own dough, make my own everything. And I started to sell these pizzas out of my apartment because my job at the time wasn't giving me the hours that I needed in order to survive.
Right.
So there was a day, I'll never forget this. We had a guy that came over to the apartment. He was a real cool friend of ours. And he worked at the Domino's up the street. And he sees me in the kitchen, like making dough and everything like that. He had just gotten off work. He said, "Oh, you're the reason why we've been late tonight. You're the reason why we haven't been." And I was like, did I outsell Domino's tonight? Did I do that? But that is something like I genuinely found a passion in making pizza just because I had my own everything. I was able to meal prep for it. I fashioned up everything to where it was its own thing. And I would have one day dedicated to pre-making my dough, pre-making my sauce. So that way it wasn't, I wasn't overwhelmed.
Correct.
But it was,
wow.
Mm-hmm.
So your interest, man, and that's the thing. And it seems that the timing of there's only 24 hours in a day, you was able to do, your school, your cooking, your poetry, and all. I know the mentoring came later on, but it's amazing how obviously he's outside of time, so he can formulate time where, hey, AJ, you need to be doing these things, and I'm gonna formulate the time where, because if you're telling a person, when does he have time to do that? Does he have time to do that and that? But it's just amazing how when you're in your purpose, time changes. Because for me, it feel like I'm older now. It feel like time goes real quick. My daughter turned 40 in January. Like, whoa. I said she was just a baby. Now that's what I'm talking about. But again, he's outside of time, but he made room for me to do certain things, to do this, to work a regular 9 to 5, and write my 4th book. And it seems as though when I look back, okay, the poems were already there, but then that time he wasn't right to do it. So we're kind of right there on the same type of thing with, different journeys, but similar things where our faith has brought us different blessings.
Absolutely.
And that's the other part. That's what I enjoy about being on this platform. The guests that we have sharing their story, and that's our theme. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories, and the testimonies. Even people that are secular have a story. And we've given our platform to hear all stories. We know a place, you can't come on because you're not a believer. That's not the way it's supposed to roll. But we see things, and that's where the wisdom and discernment comes in. You're sharing your story. Hey, I've had different experiences that led me to be a mentor. That my dad's love of cooking kind of rubbed off on me, and now I'm doing my thing where I'm not just cooking and being a chef is two different things. I can cook. Being a chef is a whole different level. So, but the thing about it is, you're not just doing it to be doing it. You're doing it because you have a passion for it. So now you excel in it. You're writing. Yes, I'm writing because I enjoy to write, and it's a passion. So it's going to raise the level of your writing. Because we know in everything, you can tell you've read enough poetry, yours and others. Man, they ain't put a lot into that. They just kind of slapped it together, and there was no thought behind it. You listen to your lyrics of rap music, and you can go, they're just pushing an agenda. And we have to be wise enough to understand what is happening. I know a lot of people, when we say woke, it's got a lot of negative connotation based on what some people define it. You know what it is, and so do I. To me, it means, look, I'm studying the word. I'm aware of what's going on based on what you're doing and based on what he told me is going to happen. So I'm not, and we can't be in the dark about things because preparation is everything, especially in these times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Preparation is the one thing that even, and I'll say that the piece of business actually helped me understand the importance of it.
Correct.
Like there's a point that I'm going to get to with this, but there was
take your time.
One day.
This is all about you. Take your time. Take your time.
There was one day that I would have called Fun Deal Friday. And for $12, you could get 2 garlic knots, a pizza, and a brownie. And that was like my large ticket day. That's when everybody would come through. As soon as school closes, everybody is hitting me up. Hey, man, when are you selling? When are you selling? When are you selling? And I realized that I never, ever, ever had enough dough unless I prepared 2 days prior, unless I took the time to give it the effort it needed. And a lot of times in our lives, God calls us to something and he gives us all the necessary tools to do it. Like people will ask, well, how do you have the time? How do you have God provides the time. He removes the things from whatever so that way I could see. I used to think he put a 25th hour in the day and was like, okay, here you go. But it'll feel like that because when you're lost in your passion, time doesn't exist. But when you're lost in your passion for God, time definitely exists, but it doesn't matter.
Correct.
And I used to just take this time to go and make all of the dough. The people at Walmart knew my name. I would walk in and they'd be like, oh, he here for flour again. Go ahead over there. But the preparation that it took, the lifestyle that I wanted to do, the things that I wanted to give out, it took so much forethought. Anything that is worth having, anything that's worth achieving is going to take forethought. It's going to take truly premeditating what will happen before this takes place. You can't accept a blessing without
absolutely that. And those are life lessons, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching and also listening. What he's talking, we're talking about making pizzas, but just like in sports and other aspects of life, we're talking about different skills to have in your toolbox to navigate life. You can't be prepared for everything. There's things that happen to each and every one of us that we're not ready for because that's life. But if you have certain preparation, even if it happens and kind of catches you off guard, you're able to handle it better because of what you prepared. You know what? I know that this can happen, so I'm emotionally aware of what could take place in this particular space. To know if that happens, I might be messed up for a minute, but I'm able to pivot back. And we see, AJ, a lot of people have things happen, they fall off, and some never make it. Addiction, criminal activity, all these different things, we know who they're manufactured by because we know in the spirit realm who wants to take as many folks out as possible to say, it's basically, I know that I'm defeated and there's one day where I'll be eternally defeated. So in between that time that I have left, I'm going to sucker as many people possible, cloud their minds, distract them. We know it's a struggle for us to try to maintain. I can't imagine somebody living apart from that, trying to navigate. Well, yeah, there's been issues in other times in history, but we live in the times we're living in now, totally different. Totally different. With technology and all the things that's going on. Kind of speak to that a little bit in reference to your exposure to social media. That's how you can put yourself out there so people can know about AJ, what he's doing. And we know that there's always a balance to everything. Doing that is a positive thing. Hey, here's my mentoring program that if you reach out, we can connect and make things happen in the community. If I'm doing this over here with my poetry, let's get together and collaborate and go serve this particular community and have my hands in different things to make a positive change. But you know what you're up against. You're up against the carnal side, which seems to be overwhelming in this particular juncture.
I'll be honest with you. Social media in on itself it's a beautiful tool. I will say that it is a beautiful tool. However, the only problem is you're not the only one that can use it. And anyone can pick up this tool. Anyone can masterfully use it and use whatever needs they want from it to make it happen. It's almost like a guitar. A guitar itself will play whatever it is that you want it to play as long as you strum the strings in the correct chord and manner. And that's us as individuals. We are the guitar. However, when you're plugged into the amplifier, whatever you got going on will go viral. It will go everywhere. Everyone will be able to, and sometimes it'll drown out other people's guitars.
Correct.
But now you have to focus on, well, how close am I to whatever is plugged in? Or am I the one that's plugged in? Because sometimes we may push an agenda forward that we don't even know we're pushing forward. We may be an aspect of, like a cog in a wheel of a machine that we didn't know that we were even a part of. So what does it take for me to understand my spot and my realm in the whole social media wheel?
Right.
There's like, I'll be honest with you. I love comedy. I love everything about comedy. I love laughing. Like that's my default thing. I've been laughing this whole show. That's my favorite thing to do is laugh. But on top of that, it's making people laugh. So what am I making them laugh with? What is the message that's within the laugh? What do I hope will go through the membrane when the dopamine comes out, so that way you can always attest to, hey, that made me smile, but I definitely know I can go back to it. If the message behind the laugh is not something that's conducive to your everyday life, but that's the one that got you keeling over, grabbing your stomach, that's what you're always going to remember.
No, absolutely.
So if I'm laughing at, if I'm laughing at people who are genuinely just thriving in ignorance, well, if I want to experience that dopamine again, I have to go towards ignorance. If I want to be around, intellectual, but I know there's intellectual laughs, like I love to crack jokes without smiling. I love to tell people jokes without smiling because I want you to be able to grab hold of whatever it is I'm saying, because there's always a different layer to what it is. But when I do that, you are intently listening anyway to whatever it is that I'm saying. Pick out the message behind the laughter. Find the message within the humor. There's a reason why there's an M in the middle of humor. Pick out the message. Figure that out. Read between the lines and then attest that to what you need to do later on. If you can't find the message in the humor, you probably don't need to be around it.
Well, the thing about it too, AJ, is that in that we're talking about comedy and things like that, just like in music and other things, there's manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that have an agenda. I'm going to manipulate a community to this. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to influence the people in that community to do that, because they're going to be influenced and the community is going to follow them. And with all this divisiveness and all these different things going on, we got to be wise. There's a lot of things that we need to tap into. We know what to tap into because we're followers of the way. But there are people out there that have no idea, haven't been exposed to it, or just simply so mesmerized by the agenda that's being pushed, they're blind. And what is I don't know the particular book or script. No, not I know the scripture, but I don't know the book that it comes from. They're saying if God is constantly reaching out to you because he wants the relationship, he wants to connect, and you keep rejecting or ignoring him, he'll just say, I'm going to leave you to your own. And how are we as nature-wise? We're sinful creatures. So if he leaves us to our own, you know what that's going to end up to be. Left to your own. We know, one of my favorite, Proverbs 3:5, lean not to your own understanding. And each of us that are listening and watching, think of a time that you made a decision on your own, and how did it turn out? I can think of a few, and they didn't turn out well. Well, we got to go to our final break. And when we come back, AJ, speak to things that you're doing. We talked about your chef. We're waiting for AJ's to open because I can't wait till that grand opening so I can get that specialty pizza. Your mentorship, you talked a little bit about that, and your poetry. So the things that we haven't touched on yet, we're going to kind of speak to those things when we come back from the break. Ladies and gentlemen, this brother's been dropping some serious lingo within what he's doing, but a lot of that knowledge goes outside of that, which you can apply to your life. This is the real level up, real talk that takes you higher. And we got AJ, ordinary people. He ain't ordinary, folks, but he has an extraordinary story. We'll be right back.
J-Town.
Yeah. Mike Jesus. Yeah. One time for the independent women that's doing their own thing and killing the boss game. Right. Working all night, pursuing a life change while putting my God first and praising his high name. I say, little mama, gon' do that there. But the people hating on you, tell them we don't care. We gon' watch God work as they stop and step, and you'll be coming out the fire with the flawless hair. Yeah. But first you gotta love yourself, cause if you ain't trying to do it, then who else gon' care? Real talk, grab a mirror, gon' look real deep. Come, I got his top notch, he don't make none cheap. See, I'm looking for a woman that ain't scared to shine, who is led by a king that is so divine. I took some time to vibe, what I feel is true. A salute to all women that are going through. I love you. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. So many women with potential, the mentor is on point. Went to school and got the job, and you were great, my girl. This right here is your joint. Life is hard, I know true, but you gotta step back, let the Lord be your guidance. He'll lead your path, and everything that you ask for, then gon' run a little right. That's right. Go ahead, little mama, get out your seat. Stand firm and plant your feet. Tell the world you playing for keeps. And I'ma watch you stand tall like a tree. Can't nobody else live your life for you. So tell them all you bout to move. I try to guide us busting through. And ain't nobody gon' stop it, you a chosen few. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you.
No, you devote your heart to following the Lord, no matter what the cost.
He hasn't had a good man in the home to be a role model. No matter how much I do, it's hard for a woman to call out the man in her son.
Isaiah,
Welcome to the Forge.
I am thrilled to present you Journey to the Poetic Light, a heartfelt collection of poems that unravels the intimate and profound moments of life through the lens of poetry. This book is a beacon for those seeking solace, inspiration, and a glimpse into the kaleidoscope of human emotions. Journey to the Poetic Light invites you to wander through a landscape of emotions where each poem is crafted to guide you toward enlightenment, reflection, and inner peace.
Stop letting food be the center of your universe. Stop letting it control you. Stop making it the center of your world. When you start putting it in the center and always do things based on food, like you're only going to travel to certain places based on food, you're only going to eat this because you're emotional, or you're not going to eat this because you had a bad day at work, whatever it is. Stop making it the center of your universe. When you do that, it's going to be harder to break that habit, and it's going to be harder to stay consistent with good foods, healthy foods, whatever, because you're associating certain foods with certain activities in your life. Stop that.
Here we go. Intro for my show. Nice though, hot like nitro. Cool as ice though. With that type of dichotomy, y'all know it's gotta be. Who else could it be but T? Rub your eyes, behold the Tony D. I'm the Dream Supreme DJ straight out of Queens. I'm eclectic, the dopest selected. Emerging music break. Tony D will take, yeah.
Well, Tony, I don't care, long as you take me there, someplace to ease my.
This is recording artist Bertrand McKinney, aka Birdie, and you're listening to CHH Jams, where the bars come from the word. Y'all keep it locked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is Orlando Presents right here on CHH Jam Presents. Make sure y'all tune in every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and check out our new show, CHH Jam Presents, right here on The Real Level Up. Let's go, y'all. Let's level up, level up. Let's get it. CHH Jam Presents.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
Get inspired with real talk that takes you higher. Like me, Rebecca Outlaw of Tickle Mites LLC. Level Up, Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey, this is Shantia Warren of Hams Farm and Assurance Wellness. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Atlanta, this is Ronnie Davis Frank from the Wild Wild West in Color, Rodeo, and Agriculture Expo. Join me every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we level up with Angee. Let's get ready to ride.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back with AJ. This is our last segment, AJ. We made it this far, man. It kind of goes by kind of quick, but you've shared quite a bit of information on your journey and the lessons that you've learned through that journey to be such a young man. And that's speaking to all the men out there, ladies as well, but this is Men's Month. Y'all had y'all month last month. It's our turn to take over. So you see I'm in the hot seat, but I don't mind being in the hot seat with AJ because he's doing so many different things. I'm trying to remember where we were on our last segment and what you were speaking about, so you could take charge and the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Well, the last thing that I will say of what I do, I actually have my own nonprofit, and it's a 501c3 that focuses on community development, vocational rehabilitation, and amplifying the voice of the people. It is called Lifeline Initiative Incorporated. And the name of it, Lifeline, actually came from my line name. So I pledged into a non-Greek organization called United African American Men Incorporated, or UAAM for short. We were founded on Grambling State's campus back in 1993. It's a great organization, but genuinely it exists to showcase how Black men can be prominent figures within their community by making sure we promote a plethora of different things, such as unity in the community, understanding the problems that plague the Black family, but focus on strengthening the Black man's role within them, looking at different ways of how we can promote a political, historical, and economic awareness, especially as it affects the African American community, and many, many other things. And they truly inspired me with the way that we have these different things that we look for and we look at and we study. What does the Black man do? How does the Black man need to be present? And what steps do we need to take as a society to make that happen? And so, excuse me, as we started off the show, I had mentioned that my heart and my soul has always been for people. I love working in community. I love doing community service projects. I love getting my hands dirty, but I love going and meeting people where they're at. Right. So Lifeline was started. Well, first, Lifeline is my line name. That's what they gave me. That they said that we know we can trust you to give the shirt off your back for your brothers. And I originally I hated my name. I'm gonna be honest. I hated my name because everybody else had really cool names. Like everybody else had really cool names. I can't lie. And I was like, dang, man. But as I got older and as time went on, I started to appreciate it because I realized you don't call on a lifeline unless you're in dire situations.
Correct.
And so for that to be, the name that they gave me, I'm very appreciative of it now. And I even apologized to my dean. I'm like, don't even worry about that. Forget I said that. Forget I said any of that. But when Lifeline started, I started it in 2020. And that's when people were just ailing all around. There was COVID.
2020 was COVID.
Woo, man. People were inside, but the beauty of it was people were inside. And so people had no choice but to watch and listen. Our whole lives stopped.
Yeah, correct.
And we were forced to look at the reality of the situation of where we were at. Now, 5 years removed from that, I feel like we're getting to a point where we were prior to COVID, where people were just doing their own thing. We weren't really paying attention to what was going on. We were just kind of letting things be. But with Lifeline, my biggest goal was going into areas like lower income areas and not doing the typical type of charity, not doing the typical type of community service work, but going in and truly developing them. A lot. I was fortunate enough. I'm pretty sure that you're aware of Hope Worldwide. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I was very fortunate enough to be under their tutelage for a very long time when I was younger. I was a part of their National Youth Advisory Council, and they would take us to the servant leadership academies where they would teach us about these things called like toxic charity and how much people go into communities with their own mindset of what they want to do, and it ends up destroying wherever they're at instead of helping them. Right. So Lifeline is designed to not be needed. Once the job is done, lifeline is done. Like,
let me ask you a question, AJ. With that premise being what you guys are doing, how does faith play into that organization? Because like you said, you meet people where they are. When you go into the communities, you're not trying to preach. You're not trying to, like people want to beat the Bible over people's heads to make them feel worse because, oh, look at me, I'm righteous, and look at you, you probably in this situation because of what. How do you guys kind of marry those two things so you can say, look, I'm a man of faith and I'm here to help serve you to become better. Just like they said, don't fish for somebody, teach them how to fish. So this way they can do it on, like you said, once you leave, you want them to be self-sufficient.
Well, I would say this. Spirituality has been a role within everything. God has been a role with everything of my life. I genuinely, I can't think of a thing I've done where he hadn't had his hand on it. Okay. In fact, I think the only things that I've done where he didn't really approve of didn't really end well for me. So, I can't sit and say that there is one particular aspect within the Bible that drives Lifeline forward. It's the entirety of the word. Yes, it's literally woven in to everything that we do, from the community development aspect, the vocational rehabilitation aspect, the amplifying the voice of the people, that pillar, all of that is biblical. All of that pushes forward. So what I would say, if I had to tie it to anything, it would be like the first church, Acts, going and just making things move, but doing it because God has already called you to do it, not because you're looking for something from it. Lifeline is not meant for me to have another stream of income. Lifeline is not something that like I'm doing so that way my name can be big. No, I put my line name there because that's the only thing I know that I can put on there, and it showcases exactly what we do.
And that should be the premise, and that should be the mission. If it says when you say lifeline to someone, certain images or concepts come into mind. So when you say, oh, I'm struggling, here's a helpline that if I grab onto it, it'll pull me out of the situation that I'm in. And it's simple, but very effective.
Right. And it gets down like I want to speak on the community development aspect for us.
No, speak on that.
Because there's more of it's a sociology type of function. When you look at the study of sociology, it lets you know that the most basic unit of any society is the family. It always starts with the household. But then you get into the details of the house. Then you get into what's the dynamics of the house. What is truly making this move? How is it functioning? And in what way and fashion can it be rectified? In what way can it be I was about to say manipulated, but in what way can it be changed to get the desired outcome for the community? Well, you've got to figure out where is everybody at? What is everybody's role? How can we get them in on that? And how can we let people know and remind them of what it is that they need to do to make different things happen? Are you supporting your spouse in this way? Are you supporting your children in this way? In what direction are you leading your kids? In what direction are you leading your spouse? In what direction are you leading yourself? What do you do within the home? And then we can focus on getting money in the home. Then we can focus on anything else. Because it's almost like if I have a plant and I start watering it, but it's not, I'm overwatering it, all the water is just flowing out. It's not even getting the right nutrients into the plant itself. The plant's going to die because it's drowned. So if I just come through with the resources of, oh, well, I'm just going to give you what I know you need. Yeah, you might need it, but I have to give it to you in small doses. I have to give it to you in a different fashion so that way you can grow accustomed to it. So that way when you do receive the full bulk of what this is, you know how to use it. You've already grown accustomed to it.
And that's learning. When you first learn a subject, it will give you the whole subject at one time. You learn math or geometry or history, whatever. You get it in snippets. It's like, okay, we're going to study the Civil War, for example. Okay, this is the cause of what brought it on. These are the different characters or players within it, and this is the result. They didn't give you the whole thing at one time, and that's how. And like you said the charities that basically just either throw money at it or just throw an agenda at it. It's like, what are you really doing? If you're not going in, okay, what's the root cause of these families not having this particular structure? There's a reason. There's a reason why. No, if the man or the father has no opportunities and they're very limited, what is he going to do? He's going to deviate off the plan to do things to provide for friends. Then we get into, you just open up a whole different show. You just open up a whole, no, the reason why is if he doesn't have a way to provide for his family, what happens? Psychological, self-esteem issues. Then you have the other issues where incarceration, which we know, and I know you know the statistics, because if you're serving communities, you know the dynamics of what's driving those particular things. And the thing is, if I get to these brothers and say, hey, you don't have to go in that route, we're going to teach you, we're not just going to give you the resources, we're going to show you the resources and how you use them to move you from here, from A to B, where you're self-sufficient and you have the mental mindset. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what my role is. And when you teach them that, they're on their way. Where, like you said, I can now step away. They're going to take it. They're going to take it from you. Learn how to drive. Your dad's in the car with you because you got the learner's permit. Then you take the road test. You pass. Dad ain't in the car now. Now you can that on your own because you got the lessons so you can take the vehicle and take it where you want to go. So that's kind of what I get from what you guys are doing.
Right. It's funny that you say that. This is a little off topic. It's funny you say that. My dad has only ridden in the car with me once, and that's when we were going to school. And this is the first time I'm doing the trip myself, and I started falling asleep a little bit. He said, pull over. I ain't doing this. I can't. Nope. I'm driving. He said he took the car. He drove the rest of the way. But now But now he trusts me. Now he trusts me to drive. That was years ago. He trusts me to drive.
No, I got
myself.
you on that.
Yeah.
But when we used to go on our road trips, when I got newly licensed and all of that, we would take road trips from New York to Jacksonville, which was his home. And he said, okay, I'm going to need you to take over. He got one eye open, AJ. he didn't trust. Now, after a while, he would actually fall asleep and allow me to drive on my own. But initially, he had that one. Like, why is one eye open? I thought he was going to take a no. But again, it's part of the process that has to go. As ladies and gentlemen, if you're online with us, you can see our logo going across the banner. And I think you even seen AJ's. We're going to get to that towards the end of the show where people can reach out and contact you if they want more information on your books, on your mentoring program, because as we know, AJ, I know from where you're sitting, our community needs it badly.
Mm-hmm. And it's so much like within Lifeline, we started like we're in the midst of creating a actual mentorship program. Like we're actually, so from the natural growth, we're starting to create one. But we're calling it Project Ogun, which we named it after like from African mythology and everything like that. We're naming it after Ogun, the deity, because he was in the stories, he was the one that came to Earth first and cleared the way for the rest of the deities to start to, go amongst the people. And that we see as change coming through for everyone. Now, of course, with respect to what we do, it's the name of what the stories themselves hold, but we know we're coming at this from a biblical perspective. We're coming at this
I got you.
We're wanting for people to see this as this is how we make change. This is how we do. A lot of times we do not. It took a long time for me to learn how to voice my opinions and concerns with the world around me. And I was fortunate to have my folks there, like my mom and my dad, who taught me how to eloquently yet firmly let my concerns be known. And unfortunately, not everybody has my mom and my dad. So we need a whole thing that we could get together and let this happen. Now, Lifeline itself is more so focused in Louisiana, and it is focused here in Atlanta.
Okay.
But we have right now, the program itself is going to start off in Louisiana first. So I'm hitting different parishes up there where I know that there are a lot of young Black youth, a lot of young youth in general that just need a chance. They just need an option of how can we make this happen.
A voice of encouragement, a voice that's letting them know, yeah, athletics could be a way, but there are other ways besides that way. The music game, the rapping and all that. Yes, there are some Bible things, but again, that leads us to other conversations. What message are you pushing? Because the thing is, we see from Christian hip hop, I've been in Christian hip hop now for a couple of years. I knew about it, but not really. But there's a lot of people sharing their testimonies, sharing their stories. But we are realists, AJ. Mainstream music industry don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear nothing positive, nothing uplifting, nothing building communities. They just want to make the money. But I'll always look at it like this. We know the Most High, he's going to rectify that situation. We don't know when, but we know what's going to happen.
Right. And even to your point of them not wanting to hear it, like there's, even if you're secular and you still have a positive message, they don't want to hear it. There's an artist named Larry June, and he talks about getting money for your family. He talks about like giving back to your community. Of course, he uses very colorful language, but his message itself is positive.
But it's not something that they're going to push.
It's not something that's pushed. It's not pushed as heavy as it should. Now, he does have a fan base, but it's not pushed as heavy as other artists. And so you sit there and you wonder, well, he fits the bill for almost everything else except for what he's talking about. He fits the image, he fits the vernacular, he fits the beat style, the flow, everything. Great artist. But you don't want to push what he's saying.
That's the irony of the business. It's like, here's our blueprint of what we do, and it filters through everything, AJ, just like our society does. It's just a microcosm of society. The look, if you don't look a certain way, if you have a certain complexion tone or certain physical characteristics, you could be, the voice could be there, but you ain't looking the way we want you to look or whatever, or they'll compromise you. And that's the other part of it. And that's where belief comes in and where your faith comes in. We all deal with worldly things because we're in the world. But the Bible tells us we're not supposed to be of the world. When I look at you or you look at me, wow, there's something different about AJ, how he moves in these circles, how he interacts with these people is not the same thing when I see other people doing it. They should be able to tell. And like you said, with your nonprofit, when you go into a community, they'll folks on the street, they know fake. They can see it from my, and if you coming in there with your, just to make a name for yourself and do that, people know. People can be able to tell. And that's why you want to go in sincere, humble, ready to serve, because that's going to basically serve you well in being able to get that mission to its entirety. And basically, like you said, our goal is to come in, do what we need to do, and leave. And now we have a self-sustaining community because of the seed that we planted. They're going to water it. You plant the seed, water it a little bit, and then they take care of the garden.
See, and I got to share this story. I was very fortunate to work with the Transformative Justice Coalition, or the TJC, and they had me as one of their fellows back in 23, and we were doing a community activation in Houston at a place called CUNY Homes. And CUNY Homes is like it's almost like the projects. It's not necessarily like high-end apartments or anything like that, but it's definitely a beautiful spot. But it's in a neighborhood that's not conducive of positivity all the time. And so when we came in there, we were working. We were supposed to be working with a couple of different groups, but some of the stuff fell through where scheduling was off. And when we got there after everybody else. But when we got there, you could tell that the people in the neighborhood weren't all outside in the same manner. When we got there and we let them know, like, okay, yes, we're here to play with the kids and everything like that, but where's your pantry at? Where's the food pantry that you guys have? You guys have a community pantry. Let's take a look around. Let's ask, what do you guys do in this area? What do you truly need help with? I know people come and play with the kids all the time, but what is it that you guys actually need help with? What do you do? And we walked around, they took us to their pantry, and we saw how it was kind of in disarray. We took the time that day, some of us to the side, and completely reorganized their pantry, threw out things that didn't need to be there, and we added in more. And then we donated to the pantry. We're like, look, let's go ahead and try to get this going. Let's see what we can help out here. That was something no one had done before.
Correct. See,
it's about going in and asking, what is the true need of this community?
And doing something.
Yes. Like sometimes people, they listen to their own egos instead of listening to the music. You're not vibing on the same frequency. You come in with a different mindset. You come in with a different itinerary that doesn't need to happen and which could actually destroy the community. Because now, right, like there's even the example of years ago with the earthquake that hit Haiti. So much foreign aid came in, and it was such a beautiful thing on the outside to see.
Correct, right?
But we didn't think about the repercussions of all this aid coming in and leaving the aid there. You're completely destroying their economic balance. Right. You're not giving them the help that they truly need. People are going out of business. They can't even have their own stuff because you're coming in with cheaper, better quality things that someone can't produce with the resources that's there.
But they're
right. And so now, what truly destroyed Haiti? Was it the earthquake that is a natural occurrence that people can actually heal from? Or was it the foreign aid that is a man-made construction that we can't take back?
But it makes you think, AJ, when that aid was given to Haiti, was their agenda behind it to create the result that we saw? That's the other part of it too. That's why we need to lean on him, because a lot of times I feel sometimes that, man, this thing, I know we can do it with his help and aid. We do the little bit that we can, but sometimes when we sit back in our own minds and think about it, it's overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. It can definitely be an overwhelming thought. And unfortunately, the world that we live in is cruel. The world that we live in does not gravitate to the light the way that it should. Even though the light shines on it 24/7, we still gravitate towards a whole different realm. So when you do think different, when you do move in a different way and you move in the purpose that God has called you to, your perspective is different. Correct. You're able to help others in a different manner. Your heart is different. Your heart posture is different. You don't have the same thoughts of others. You're not thinking in ulterior motives. You're thinking for the need of the person. If I was in your shoes, what would I do?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. But we're coming towards the end of the show. I'd like to ask our producers to scroll in the banner your information where folks can get in contact with you. I would like you to share verbally how people can get, because we got people watching, we got people listening as well. So if you could just give them where they can reach out to you for your culinary skills, for your books, AJ, or to help out with your mentorship.
Absolutely. So I am Adrian Consonery Jr. You can find me on Instagram at AJ. That's AJConsonery. AJ Consonery. The last name's Italian. Or you can find me with my author page at author_AJ. If you would like to support the nonprofit and our endeavors of what we do, you can follow our Instagram at LYFELINEINC. That's Lifeline Inc. But the first I is a Y because we're going to find the Y for the world. And you can also go to our website, lifelineinitiative.com, and you can also donate to the tab there. But yes, sir.
No. Go ahead.
Oh,
sir.
and the food. I'm sorry. And the food. The food is currently on hold, but it will be back soon. I
want to hear about that part.
Yeah, I might do a pop-up in my neighborhood for people to come to. We'll definitely offer up some more word later on a day that people can kind of RSVP for the restaurant, and we'll make some stuff go.
But I'd like to ask you, Adrian, I think you pulled out a copy. Show us copies of your book.
Yes, so these, let me see how well this comes out on camera. It ain't coming out well at all. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Hey, so this is Legal Thoughts, the thoughts of the 21-year-old man. This is my second book.
Okay.
And this is my first book, The Thoughts of the 17-year-old man. So these are both available on Amazon. But my second book, Legal Thoughts, is available on Barnes & Noble as well. So definitely you guys can go to their website and order it. If you just look up my name, Adrian, Adrian, and then last name Consonery, the Thoughtful Man series should be able to pop up.
And I'd like to add with that, as authors, we truly appreciate if you're on certain platforms, if you purchase the book and you read the book and you truly enjoy the words and the work of the artist, of the author, leave a review. Let folks out there know that you read not only did you read the book, but you truly enjoyed it, and share some of your thoughts. Because different likes, that doesn't really share how you felt about the words that's been written. Because remember, it takes something. Yes, it's a gift, but we've got to pull from places within ourselves. And I know he had to pull from places inside himself where he had some of the things that he shared. Angie's asking, where can we find you so you can sign some books?
You know what? We might have to make that a day that we add in the restaurant too.
You need to do that.
You
do that. Because my book is coming out as well. Maybe you and I can collaborate on doing that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I would love to do a joint book signing. I've done a joint pop-up shop one day with my best friend. So I would absolutely love to do that again.
We'll talk about that, because that's something that, we at Level Up, we want, your family now. So you'll be coming back to do different shows and updates and things like that going on. So that's how we do it. Every time you come on one time, but folk out there. So the fact that you've been on the platform now, you family, man. Now, the last thing we normally do with our show is to give you a chance to reflect on kind of things that we talked about during the show and just share what's on your heart for our viewing and listening audience.
Well, the first thing is, to anybody that is out there and you've got someone young that's around, embrace them. This world is trying to mold our youth into being something that they are not meant to be. And I will forever say I'm very fortunate, blessed, and lucky to have had the community and village that I've grown up in that was very conducive and understanding of my creative side. If you've got someone young that's there and they come to you with an idea, or they're shy about coming to you with an idea, embrace them, encourage them, and help them to see how they can truly make it something brighter. Challenge them, let them know where it can come from, and discipline them so that way they go right in the way that they need to grow. But definitely, of all things, encourage and love on them. And to the youth that may be watching, please embrace the knowledge that comes from those above you. Embrace the knowledge that comes with the wisdom and apply it to your life and allow it to be something, because you never know where it could lead you later.
Again, AJ, first of all, I appreciate meeting you and spending this time to chop it up with you on things that you're doing. My desire and hope is that in the future we'll actually physically meet and be able to plan certain things and work together, because that's what I want to get more involved in serving my community, more involved for doing things that show a positivity that also showcase my faith. So ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of our show today. I think I did okay. I'll be hearing from the boss after the shows to see how I've done. But I'm looking forward to, being with you guys this month, hosting with our different guests. I'm going to see if I can get this right, AJ. We're on 3 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. We're on an hour behind at 2 p.m. Central Time and 12 Pacific Time. We'll be on next week. I'll be your host again. And again, AJ, thank you very much. I hope that folks reach out to you to help out in your vision of what you're doing. And we know that God is in control and in command. And if he is, we know we'll be successful. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Have a nice evening.
Looking over my life, I want to thank you for all you've done for me. You put the wind beneath my broken wings. I learned to fly and live to tell the world love never fails. Lord, thank you for one more day. For coming my way, and should I fall on that road, I know you'll lead me home. So I thank you, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for one more day, learning to trust again. Hasn't been easy, but you're a patient friend, always there in every situation I'm in, making ways when I can see no end. Love never fails. Lord, thank you for one more day. Lord, thank you for coming my way.
Let's talk about what's going on in the real estate world now. This is a great time to go out and buy a home. I'm gonna talk about these condos that I have. So I have these condos. They're starting in the twos, which is pretty low for Decatur. So you're looking at monthly for a mortgage at about $1,750 for the 1 bedroom and about $1,900 for the 2 bedroom. If I was renting an apartment, I would buy me a condo and I would rent to myself. If you were going to rent for more than 2 years, you need to buy your own place, let somebody rent a room from you, then buy whatever it is that you're trying to buy and sell what you have or use it as your first investment property. But what I wouldn't recommend doing is renting for 5, 10, 15 years. We have to change our mentality.
My name is Kelly Bryant, and I am the face of a type 2 diabetic. I am also the author of a book series called Numbers that is available on Amazon. Numbers is about how I used a low-carb diet lifestyle to get my numbers into non-diabetic range. I am living proof that it is possible to go from a 16.6 A1C to a 5.2. So let's kick type 2 diabetes one number at a time.
And I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.
Starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Dr. Kyrie listens. Healing begins with being heard. Join us at 3 p.m. for Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. Coming to you at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the New Artist Profile. We keep it hot for you. Following the New Artist Profile at 7 p.m., join the Dynamic 3, Orlando, Kim, and Birdie, for CHH Jams presents Where Bars Come From the Word. Relationships can be challenging, so we save the best for last. Join us for Pat Nash Talks on those special occasions every second Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have food for talk, taking on health, one number at a time.